All right, hello. This is another update for the Kaiju engine. Um, I did a lot of work on the renderer the last few days, making it a little bit more programmable. So there's not a whole lot of visual change from the last one, but there are some nice new things here. So I'll show you here. We'll pull out a monkey here, and we'll pull out two monkeys. Okay. So here I will grab this monkey, move him over. Now, what I went with here was blender controls. So you press G to grab, and then you can press X to snap on the X-axis, the Y for the Y-axis, and Z for the Z-axis. And Escape will reset to those changes. You can also press R, rotate along the X, the Y, and the Z. I'm still playing around with how the X, Y, and Z feel. I want them to feel more like Blender for the rotation and for the scale. But we can also do S for scale, scale along the X, the Y, and then Z. Make this strange Ren and Stimpy character here. So you'll notice that I also have a select box, so I can select two things, or two things. I can select multiple things, and and mess them up whenever I try to move them. They should move relative to their position there. I'll fix that. But that's uh, that's basically the main things that we've set up here. I don't think there's any new things up here. There is, I guess I can talk a little bit about the renderer. You'll notice I can press, oops, I have focus inverted on the wrong side now. Um, you'll notice that there's this outline. It's a very basic outline. It's just the model inverted and scaled up a little bit but it's in clip space, so the outline stays about the same width no matter the distance. This is just for the selection. Here, yeah, there you go. You can see it. Um, I'll probably make it fancier later. For now, this works just fine for me to get moving forward. Another thing you'll notice is the selection box does this like inversion, this inverting colors a little bit. That's because the selection box is being run on what's called a separate canvas. I can talk about more of that later, or go into details about that. That's more minutia about how you program the graphics pipeline. Because another thing you'll notice is if, let's say, I grab this monkey and I press X, you'll see that this red line is on top of his head, no matter which way I'm looking. And that's because this red line is being rendered on a separate, what I'm calling canvas. I don't know. I don't have another name for it. Essentially, it's a set of render passes, and the shaders and their pipelines. They all get compiled into one image, or they could be in multiple frame buffers, but they get compiled into an. You can think of it as an image, like there's multiple layers to a canvas. So there's multiple passes and this sort of stuff and pipelines, and then you can take those canvases, those separate ones, and then combine them together. Popular apparently. Um, so you can combine those together, and you'll be able to. Right now, they're just overlaying, and you can modify the combination algorithm if you want them to combine in a different way. Right now, it just kind of copies and pastes each canvas on top of each other until you've got a final image. Um, but for the most part, most people are just going to be using the single default canvas, which is a render pipeline that I've set up with order independent transparency. And then I'm probably going to fit in some just the basics that you need to make 2D and 3D games. Now um, the way that I've set up the graphics pipeline and these canvases is that I can have multiple default canvases. So we can say use the default PBR canvas, or use the default cell shaded canvas. So we can have these pre-set up pipelines that everybody can use and share for these art styles. And of course, like I said, they're all self-contained, so you can actually do a PBR canvas with a cell shaded canvas and then overlay them on top of each other to make some kind of weird effects. I can go more into the graphics programming stuff a little bit later. It's all in Vulkan. You have to program out your pipeline. You have to program out your render pass and set it up and set up your images and your views and your samplers and all the other stuff. So it's a little involved to create a pipeline right now, but hopefully we can simplify that with layers of abstraction on top of what there is. So that's the latest update right now. We've got basically all the tools for editing in here for moving things around and placing them. Some of the things I'm going to be adding next is, whoa, hi there, is going to be where you can type in numbers, like I can say 34, and this will move, 34 units along whichever axis, or negative 34 to go back the other way. Um, I need to add the snapping, which is pretty easy. So we can turn on snapping and have it snap to positions. And I need to add mementos. Memento is a computer sciencey term for saving some state and having the ability to undo that state, aka undos and redos. So I'll be setting up the memento pipeline for being able to stack in undos on everything we do in the editor next as well. And I want to get that done pretty early on so that we don't wind up with all these, like I can't undo this move right now. So we don't wind up with states of things not being able to be undone and then having to go and find all those later. Cool. So sorry, this isn't a huge visual update, but it is a pretty massive update as far as the render pipeline goes and the programmability of all this. So yeah, if you have any suggestions or questions or anything like that, let me know. By the way, the keyboard controls are industry standard: left alt or just alt, left click for rotate. You can use the middle mouse to pan, the scroll to zoom, and you can also hold space and left click to pan in case you don't have a middle click mouse for whatever reason. Uh, cool. Yeah. So let me know what you think, and hopefully I'll be back with a new update in a couple of days with mementos and maybe some of these snapping tools and these editing and placement tools. And yeah, I think it's going pretty good. All right, see you guys.